Give me the damn bag!
How does it feel to have all that evil inside of you? All their powers, all their souls. 1,000 souls to burn. Look into my eyes. Your souls are stained by the blood of the innocent.
Feel their pain.
Hey guys, welcome to another video of the Monster Mash series. As you guys can tell by the intro, it is Ghost Rider today. This is the first one of me actually talking to you guys. I am uploading videos on Instagram, but those videos, I'm putting them up here on YouTube as well. So if you guys missed the one from Sunday, check that one out. It's the one before this one, the Addams Family one. It was super fun filming that one. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started on Ghost Rider. I've actually haven't seen the movie in a long time, so I don't remember much about him, but he's pretty cool. Ghost Rider is a bounty hunter that's summoned by the devil, the demon, I don't know, something like that. And he is sent to Earth, I'm reading off the Wikipedia site by the way, to retrieve the contract of San Venganza for control of 1,000 corrupt souls. Seeing that the agreement would give Mephistopheles the power to bring hell on Earth, the rider refuses and escapes with it. In 1986, Mephistopheles reaches out to 17-year-old Johnny Blaze, who is the Ghost Rider, offering to cure his father's cancer in exchange for Johnny's soul. That's pretty much the gist of it. I'm not gonna tell you the whole movie. If you haven't watched it, watch the movie because it's pretty good. I just haven't seen it in a long time, but it is good. I remember it being good, even though some people didn't like it. But anyways, it's from Marvel Comics. Everything pretty much is Marvel based nowadays, so the look is gonna be pretty awesome. Anyways, let's get started here. And I have all my stuff laid out here. I'm just gonna tell you guys what colors I'm using. I'm not gonna show you guys exactly what I'm using. You guys use whatever is similar to you. Whatever products that you have to use those. I will say though, sometimes the Halloween makeup that they sell, like at Spirit Halloween and those like Halloween makeup things, are a little bit different, and they do perform a little bit different than the products that I'm using, just because this is more of like professional. Even though I'm not a professional, I like doing this kind of stuff, so that's why. But anyway, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start with the fresh base here. Always putting something on to protect that face and make sure that everything sticks on. I always like to use this. This is the Milk Hydro Grip Primer, and I just put it all over my face. Like I said, I feel like it helps protect my face and to make everything just stick on. Paint and makeup we're gonna put on the face. Okay, I do let it sit for a little bit, make sure that it is nice and tacky. As you guys can see, it does pull on my skin a little bit, but that's why it's a gripping primer. I'm gonna go in with these two here. We'll see which one shows up better. Usually I like to use the black one or the white one from the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencils to draw everything on my face first. Make sure that everything looks good before we go in and put in any details, anything like that. I am gonna get these a little bit sharpened so I can get a better line. There we go. When I first bought these, I didn't know that you can sharpen them, so I would just use whatever the tip was and then throw them away. Very smart, right? Because they're kind of like plastic, so I never knew that you could actually sharpen them until I was watching some girl's video. And she's like, oh, I'm gonna sharpen my pencil, and I was like, oh, can do that? I didn't have no idea. So now I know. And I'm gonna just start with the white one first and I'm gonna outline everything. If you feel around your eye, you'll be able to feel where the hollow part of your eye is, so you can like go around that to make it more realistic. And the circles don't have to be perfect because nobody's skull is actually perfectly rounded. Key is pretty much just a skull, so you're gonna want to reference any skull pictures that you could find. They're pretty easy to find. Just Google skull, or even do a Ghost Rider reference too. Type in Ghost Rider and it'll show up. That's what Ghost Rider looks like in the comics. That's what he looks like in the movie. But pretty much a skull. The best thing that you could do is do the outlines and then bring in your details. The details are going to be the one that brings it more to life. this is what it looks like right now. I know it looks kind of crazy, but it'll look better once we add all the black, all the details and all of that. So let's go ahead and start on that. We are gonna put in the black first on the outer parts of the face. I am gonna use some paints for this. I'm using the Mehron paints to do this part, just with a paintbrush that you would buy at Michael's or Walmart, wherever you find some. These are actually from Walmart and they are pretty nice. I really do like how they work. So just grab the black paint and I'm going to start going through that outline. Now don't go too close to the line because I'll be more detailed there in a little bit with a smaller brush. But for now, this is what we are doing. Kind of brushing it onto the hairline as well. I am going to start grabbing a smaller brush now and a little more detailed. I'm grabbing something that looks like this. Another paintbrush. Filling in the eyes as well. If it looks sloppy like that, it's okay. I'm gonna go back in and fix it. Just kind of setting it. Putting in the paint first, and then we'll go in with detail. And now we're gonna go in with something smaller, like this. To make it more precise, make sure that you're going in very slowly. Don't not rush it, because then that's when things start going bad. Take your time. I know it's a lot. Just make sure you have tons of patience, or things will start looking messy, and that's not what we want. Now I need to go in with a smaller brush to get like the nose and stuff. As you can see, it is a lot smaller than the last one I had. Now that we have an outline and some of that darker stuff on, we are going to add some shading into this using regular makeup brushes. Grabbing a black eyeshadow, I'm going to just start blending this out. It looks like it's blended out. I'm going to do the same thing here, obviously. There we go. Now we're going to do a little bit of red eyeshadow. Any red you got. Try to keep a towel handy so that I can clean up my brushes in between. A little tip for you guys. If you need to clean off any brushes or clean off your hands if it has anything on them. I always keep one around. Alright, I'm just grabbing a red shade. Any red will do. In case you are wondering, I'm using the red from the Vida Palette from Melt Cosmetics. I'm going to put that red around the black that we have down. It doesn't have to be clean or anything. I'm going to slowly build it up to the red that I want it to be. I am blending it into that black that we had. It doesn't have to be perfect, like I said, because he has like flames. So that's kind of like the vibe I'm going for here. So I'm just placing it wherever it meets with the black. On the lid. I'll bring some down here as well. I know it looks rough right now, but trust the process. At the end, once we add the details and everything, it'll look put together. You guys will see. Now I'm gonna grab an orange from the Norvina Pro Pigment palette. It's volume 3, the orange one. I'm just grabbing an orange from there. There is two actually. There's the A2 one and the A5. I'm just going in between both of them. And I'm gonna put that next to the red. Just start blending it together. I am putting it anywhere that there wasn't any color already and right next up to the red as well. So you have that red but also that orange in there, and that looks kind of like a flame kind of thing. Like that. So now you guys see kind of like an ombre kind of effect going on there. Looks pretty cool. Now for the mouth part. We're gonna go in and fix that. As you guys can see, I kind of just placed the color on there. I didn't really do much detail. So that is what we're gonna go in and do right now. I am going to grab a small brush here and really outline how I want this. Kind of dragging that color in, if you guys saw that with just my finger. Okay, so now to make the mouth part easier for us to clean up if we need to, I'm gonna use cream products for that, just because it's a little bit easier to remove if we mess up than if I were to use a water activated paint. This is from Mehron as well. It's one of their palettes. It looks like this. And I'm gonna use the black in there, this one. It just says Mehron Makeup Mask Cover Cream Blend. It's just the black cream that I'm using for it. So I'm gonna slowly start filling up that. I think I'm gonna go in here and clean up a little bit some of these parts. I want them to look a little more sharp. So I'm gonna go in with a little makeup wipe. And I'm gonna clean up that part a little bit. So that part right there, the one I had initially put it in, was a little too thick for my liking, so that's why I went back in there with the wipe, cleaning off a little bit of that. Just know that if you do make mistakes, it's okay. Just go back in and clean it up and make it how you want it to be. It's not a big deal. It's a skull anyways. Like I said, skulls come in different shapes, different cracks and stuff like that, so don't get frustrated if you do make mistakes like I did, because you'll be able to go back in and clean it up anyways. It is not a big deal. The point is that you have fun with it and create something that you like. Alright, I didn't take this one off, but I think I might. Okay, so it's looking like that right now. We're gonna go in and start with the detail a little bit. I'm gonna let my face dry for a little bit before I start putting anything on, so that that cream doesn't get messed up. It is a process, just trust the process. I know it looks crazy and it doesn't look put together, but at the end it will come together, okay? Just keep on trucking, guys. Okay, so now that it is dry, I'm gonna start doing the mouthpiece part. I'm going back into the water activated paint to do this part here. Back to my small brush with the cream product. Okay. So I did make the center of it really dark with the black paint. I'm going to go over it one more time. And now we're gonna start doing teeth. And I'm gonna stretch out my face like this so everything doesn't look so wrinkly. You know how sometimes your lips have like wrinkles and stuff on them? I'm gonna pull them out like this. I know I look crazy, but trust me, it's gonna work. Now you're gonna mimic the ones that you have up here, down here as well. Try to make sure you try to keep them rounded. Now we're gonna bring in that white. And I'm just gonna use this brush like this and still go in with a cream paint. We are going to make him stand out a little bit with the white. I'm gonna go with a tiny brush, smaller than the one I just had. I'm gonna make those black lines one more time so it looks cleaner. So that is what that side is looking like. I just did some little bit of those black lines. I brought it out a little bit over here. And now I'm gonna go in with a liner, like a regular liner, and go in through those lines. And we're gonna put in the red and orange like we did up here, just down here. And then I'll finish this side of the face off camera. So we're gonna go ahead and shade all this out here. We're gonna start with black so it transitions into that fiery color. Just grabbing my normal brushes for eyeshadow. I'm going to start blending these colors out, and then we'll move into the red and so on. I'm gonna try not to touch the teeth part because that one's still kind of creamy, so we're not messing with that much. And I'm just doing the outside of it. because on the center I want that red and that orange to pop in. I'm kind of just spreading it a little bit. There we go. Okay, now I am working that red in right next to the black. And I'm going to bring it into this part too. This part will probably stay a little bit more on the red side. Okay, so we have that darkened out there. And now we're gonna bring in our orange. I'm using the same colors that I used before, same palettes that I used before. Looks pretty cool. Now this is the part that's gonna be a little bit hard, but I can do this. I'm gonna grab a brush like this, it's more on the fluffy side, and grab that white cream and putting it on my back of my hand here. And I'm gonna put it here because we do want this to look like a skull, but I don't want it to be super like stark white, so that's why I just grabbed a little bit. I'm just doing this side of the face because I'm gonna go off camera and do this side of the face. I'm gonna go off camera, do this side, then we'll come in and make some details to this. It'll make it look cooler. Fix the hair, that'll help as well to make this look come to life. Ha ha ha, get it? Cause he's dead. Yeah. Lame joke. Alright, I'm gonna go off camera, finish the other side, and I'll be right back. So we went off camera, I did the other side of the face. This is what it's looking like right now. We are going to add some detail into this. I'm going to use a liquid eyeliner for this. This is just the Anastasia Beverly Hills one, and it's just a liquid liner in black. So we're going to add a little bit of details here and there to make it a little more realistic. You guys can see I'm adding like little cracks here and there. Super easy to do that. I know it looks like it's really intricate. It's really not. Let me show you guys here real quick. Create like a triangle type thing first, but you don't want it to be like a perfect triangle. So just make a line. That. You're gonna make another line that's gonna go out here. And then connecting it kind of like a triangle. You guys see that? Your edges are always going to be the thinnest. If you notice when there's a crack and stuff, there's always a very thin line, and then of course the little like edge part that is going to show. Usually when stuff breaks, that's the way that it breaks. It doesn't have to be perfect, like I said. If you guys see this one's a little bit janky, that's okay. We're going to leave it like that. And now I'm just coloring in the inside of that triangle. Okay, see that? Super easy. Might look like there's a lot that goes into it. It really doesn't. If you want to make those pop up a little bit more, we're gonna add a little bit of white. You guys will see. It's gonna look super cool. It's a very tiny, precise brush. Again, these are paint brushes. And I'm gonna use the liquid paint for the white part. These are water activated, just so you know. You don't want them super wet, but what I do is I add a little bit of white just to highlight them a little bit. You guys see that around the crack there? Just to add a little bit of highlight. We'll add it here too. In between those two dark spots there. Just random lines here and there. They don't have to be precise or anything. That'll add more to your look. I'm gonna add it around the nose too a little bit because it's kind of too dark there. There's one, there's another one, and then one here in the middle to pop a little bit more. And I'm also gonna add some inside of here. So we'll put one right over here. Another one up here. Do the same thing over here. go. And maybe some over here. There you go. So we have our random lines here and there. Makes it pop up a little bit more. I'm gonna add just a little bit more of the white underneath here. I think I'm gonna add one more crack here so it looks more even. Add it up down here to this area. Okay, there we go. Now we are going to do the hair. And the hair, all I'm gonna do is put it in like a mohawk type of thing, and then I'm gonna curl the ends. So I'm gonna create a bunch of little like ponytails. So I'll put one here in the front with like my bangs. I'll show you guys in a bit so you guys can see what I'm talking about. I grabbed the stuff that I needed for my hair. So it's just these little scrunchy thingies. They look like this. And I'm just gonna do that and do like small sections, and then I'm gonna curl it with a curling wand, and we'll do like a mohawk type thing. I know my hair is already kind of like a fiery color, so if you want, I know they have paints at like Walmart or Target. Like I said, my hair already looks fiery, so I don't need to do that. But if you want to make it look cooler for the whole costume and everything, just do that. But what I'm gonna do is I'll show you guys real quick the first few. I'm gonna take a small section first because I want the bangs kind of to go over my forehead a little bit like this. So I'm going to just grab that first section of the hair, put it into a rubber band, gonna leave it there, and then I'm gonna curl it afterwards. So that one is done. I'll move on to my next section of hair, putting it right where the other one is. So I'm just gonna grab this part of my hair, and same thing on this side. Okay, and so on, and I'm gonna move on down to my whole head until I have those in the center. So I will be back and then I'll show you the curling part. Okay, so I am done sectioning those pieces. As you guys can see, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here is the front. I did take off the scrunchie that I had in the front because it's gonna look a little bit funky if I have that there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna curl it and then bobby pin it, which is what I'm gonna do with the rest of it as well. So we are going to leave this one alone for a bit, the front part, and we're gonna start with the back part. I have my curling iron here, warming up, heated at whatever temp you are comfortable with using it. And let's get this other hair out of the way so we can just focus on one of the pieces of hair back there. I'm just gonna use a scrunchie here to hold it off here at the top for now, and we're gonna work with the bottom piece, and then I'm just gonna bobby pin it wherever I want to bobby pin it. So I'm gonna use these. First off, I'm gonna curl it. I'm gonna grab maybe a couple, like separate it into 2 strands, and make sure that it's warm enough. I'm gonna curl it for a few seconds. You should have something like this. Now that it's curled, I do want to tease it just a little bit to make sure that the hair stays in place where I want it to, and it looks a little bit more fuller since I don't have a lot of hair. I just teased it a little bit, like right here. And now I am going to grab a bunch of bobby pins, just start bobby pinning this where I want it to be. So I don't want it to be too low. I'm going to bobby pin it right here, and then as I go, if I feel like I need to pull it up a little bit more once I have my other strand, then I will. But right now this is what it's looking like. I'm hoping that you guys can see it on camera. There it is, bobby pin. Now we're going to move to the other section. Going to grab this one with my scrunchie here and do the same thing here. This one has a little bit more hair, so I'm going to do 3 strands on this one. Curl 3 different strands. There's one. Okay, so I will show you again how I did that, and then after that I'm gonna either fast forward or jump straight to when I'm doing the front part of the hair, so you guys are not seeing everything that I'm doing because I'm just doing the same thing over and over again. So this part, tease it as well, just at the base. I don't tease the whole hair, just at the base to make it look a little bit more thicker there at the base. And then I'm going to pin this one down as well. Now this one's going to be pinned a little bit different than the first one. Just trying to cover up so you can't see the rubber bands. I'm going to do a little bit up top. I'm going to bobby pin here. But then I'm also going to grab pieces of hair and start pinning them down all over the place, just so that we have different pieces of hair going everywhere, even if you wanted to do that. So you have some kind of base at that mohawk looking, so it actually looks like a mohawk with some curls on it, or a faux hawk I guess I should say, because it's not really a mohawk. Okay. Pick this one up from the bottom, I think. So it should be looking something like this. You still have your kind of your mohawk here at the edge, middle, not at the edge. You're gonna have your mohawk still here at the middle. You can always separate them too. This one looks like, there we go. I don't know if I'm gonna grab this one, pin it down so it looks part of that mohawk again. I'm gonna pin these two together here. Still have that curl. Gonna grab more towards the center, grab another bobby pin, and put this one more towards the center a little bit, where you can still see those curls coming through. This one, so it's not too down too much, put it down. There you still have some curls, and so that's what it should be looking like right now. Kind of hair all over the place, but still keeping it in the center. Now I'm gonna move on to the rest, but I'm gonna just be doing the same thing I was doing. Alright guys, so this is what we have right now. Now I'm going to do the front part. Just going to comb it through first and then curl it. I'm going to take off some of like the front. Just how it's going to look yet. Hold on. Okay, just this part I believe. Maybe a little bit more than that. There we go. A little bit more hair. Okay. Put that off to the side here. And I'm gonna do this part. And we'll curl it first. Whole thing together. So whatever comes out, I'm just gonna pull to the front here. I just want it all to be the same, so that's why I wanted to curl it all together. Alright, we're gonna let that dry a little bit, and then I'm gonna do this part and curl these all together. Okay. So, this one is cooled off. I'm going to tease it like I did with the other hair. And that is just gonna go like pulled up kind of. I'm gonna put that out like that. And then this one, we are going to bobby pin it just there on the side, like this. Trying to keep that curl. Okay. Grab all of it. I know this is like the hardest part to do. I'm not very good at doing this, so bear with me. I do want that curl out a little bit. I think we got it. I am going to bobby pin this part. It looks kind of weird here. This one, I'm gonna put it down a little bit like that. I'm gonna do these sides real quick. My little tiny hairs here on the side that are growing out. Alright, so that's what it should be looking like. Let me do a side thing here so you guys can see what it looks on the sides. And to just keep everything in place, hairspray, just spray the rest of it so it stays in place. Like we're back in the 80s or something, hairspraying the crap out of her hair. Okay, so that's what the hair is looking like. I'm gonna go put on something different. Usually he has a leather jacket. I don't have a leather jacket, so I'm gonna figure something out and I will come back out and show you guys the finished look. Alright guys, so I'm back with the finished look. This is what it looks like. It did add a little bit to my neck here just to blacken the little white squares. And then my hands as well. Of course not my palms because that's too much work. But it did do the back of my hands. And yeah, that is the finished look. I hope that you guys enjoyed this one as much as I did. It was very time consuming but very fun to do. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you guys recreate any of the looks actually, use hashtag Lin Lin Monster Mash on Instagram so I can go check out you guys' looks. And I hope that you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in my next one. Toodles! I'm the only one who can walk in both worlds. I'm the Ghost Rider.